Hi guys, my name is Leilani and I'm a clinical nutritionist and a chef, and I'm here to teach you how to make the meals you love to be gut healthy, good for your body and good for your brain. Today we're making a gut healthy and immune boosting sausage roll. Believe it or not, it is possible. I'll talk you first through the ingredients and the nutrients within the ingredients, and then we'll get started in the actual cooking part. So essentially, for it to be gut healthy, we want a few components, and that's going to be the addition of lentils, right? These have got resistant starch in them. They've got oligosaccharides, fructooligosaccharides. They're cheap and cheerful. They blend in. They basically take on the flavor of whatever you put in it, and that's why we like them. These are just canned, but if you can soak and boil your own in a bone broth, that's the ideal, and I can do a video on that if you like. But these are just canned, organic, BPA free, really, really well washed in water, soaked, get rid of all that disgusting liquid that it sits in. Second up, I've got onions, and obviously it's for flavor, but it's also because they have fructans in it, and that's resistant to digestion by us, and so it's food for the good bacteria. If you have watched my show or my class on spag bol, good for immune system, then this will also be covering the same type of nutrients. And essentially for the immune system, you want top 5 would be vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin A, vitamin E, and zinc. And these are the animal concentration, sorry, this is the animal highest concentration of a lot of those nutrients, and I'll go into why that is in a second. And this is the vegetable version. So why do we want vitamin C? Vitamin C is like the shield. It helps protect the immune cells from damage. Vitamin D is for defense, and it helps the body make proteins that help kill the bacteria and viruses. Vitamin A is an anti-inflammatory style, and it helps reduce the damage to healthy cells. Zinc helps with the communication between the immune cells, and that enables the army essentially to coordinate an attack, which sounds kind of crazy, but it's a very violent process to eat. And the last one was vitamin E. And vitamin E basically enhances the T cells, which are the cells responsible for fighting off infection. So let's get cracking. I'll show you why I've got these ingredients, particularly the sausage. Now, this is the most important aspect of this, I would say, but you don't have to go to the extent that I do. But if you really want immune boosting, gut healthy, then what I've done is I have gone to my butcher and I've asked them to make up special sausages that have half mince. So this is half pork and beef, and also half organ meats. Now, I know that might sound just really out there on a limb, but organ meats are easily one of the most nutrient-dense foods that you can have in your diet. But let's be honest, it is a little bit squeamish. So when you sneak them into the sausages, and this is about a 60-40 ratio, 40% being organ meats, in the sausages, you can't really tell. So they don't look like sausages because I've taken them out of the casing and I've just mixed them around a little bit. But essentially that's what it is. So it's a blend of liver, heart, and kidney with mince. And liver is the best source of vitamin A, and vitamin A is obviously good for immune system. That's why I'm using these special sausages. You can just go with pork or beef if you prefer, or even chop up a bit of liver inside of it if you want. Just get it on the side into small doses, or even heart to add to it. Kidney's a little bit tricky, but the other two are fine to sort of chop small and add into it. So that's my sausage, my nutrient dense sausage bulk of it'll be about a 50-50 between these and that. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just throw all of this stuff in a blender, in a food processor to chop really finely. And what we've got here is some mushrooms, crimini or Swiss brown or any mushroom, vary it up. They are such a superfood for you, and they've got all of the vitamins, basically most of the vitamins we talked about earlier. I do love having mushrooms. Carrot, high in vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin A, vitamin C. You don't have to have all of these. In fact, what was so good about this recipe is that it was pretty much this stuff was going bad in my fridge and I needed to eat it up. And that's why I'm putting it all in there, including the stalks of the celery. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm just going to add it to my blender. I'll put this parsley at the bottom. Throw it in there. You can use, this is a Thermomix, but of course you can use whatever you've got at home. I'm not going to be able to do it all in one go because I got so much. I'll start with that. And then I will meet you back here to go over to the next step. All right, welcome back. Now I've got a wok, and the reason I've got a wok is because my main huge bowl is busy. I'm fermenting my own pastry, and so I need something that's really big. So I'm not going to cook with it, but it is in a wok. So what I've done is I've taken the veg, as you can see here, and I've actually picked it up and I've squeezed some of the water out. It's in very small bits, and essentially, as I said before, we want that kind of half-half ratio. That's how I like it. Of course, you can go less. So I've got about half the meat to half veg and lentils. Now, I forgot to mention before, but every time I'm shopping, I just keep a small bowl for either scraps, or actually I have two bowls, one to keep for stocks. So any of the carrot, celery, onion, any of that kind of ends of things, I just keep it in the freezer to add to water to boil in order to get a beautiful stock if I'm making a fish stock or a vegetable stock, and I just keep it on the side. It's also very handy just to dump then in the bin so you're not walking back and forth to the bin. Right, so we've got the bulk of our stuff. Now it's flavorings. You can flavor with whatever you want. Pork particularly goes well with fennel, and so I've got some whole fennel seeds. You can toast them if you want, gives it more flavor. I'm just kind of going the simplest route here. And so even the onion, sometimes people pre-cook the onion and garlic. You can do that, but it's also going in the oven to be cooked. So I sort of don't see the point of doubling up on that. Now I'm going to add tomato sauce. I know it's not the healthiest food in the world, but honestly, it just having a bit of acid, I haven't used it in a while, having a bit of acid helps break up the meat, the very strong meat flavor. When I mean acid, tomato is acidic. Sounds a bit funny. And I'm going to add some Dijon mustard. One, it's a fermented product, that'll do actually, and which can be quite good for you, but it also gives a beautiful flavor. So I don't bang that because it'll be so loud for you guys. Now the other part of this is you want something to kind of soak up the fat, soak up some of maybe the water if it comes out of the veg. And this is the other important ingredient. A lot of sausage rolls have really poor quality ingredients that go inside. And that's why I'm here to teach you essentially what you can swap out so that it's better for you and for your gut, and certainly for your immune system. So this is sourdough just that was kind of, that I had, and it was going a bit kind of hard, and I just blended it up in my food processor, my Thermomix, and it becomes breadcrumbs. So normally I would probably put a little bit more than this, but I didn't have more, so that's it. And what I'm going to do now is mix that together with my hands and then we'll go on to the next stage, which is going to use this gorgeous pastry. And by the way, guys, I am not profiting from giving you these brands. It's just the brands that I like because I've used the ingredient, I've read the ingredients, and I think that they're quality and they're worth buying. So I don't want you to think that I'm sponsored by any of them, including the pastas that I use, all of that. I'm not, I just love the ingredients. So I'll see you back here soon to do some rolling. All right, welcome back. I've set my station for the rolling part. Of course, you can make your own pastry, and there's a beautiful fermented, yogurt fermented pastry that I will be hopefully putting up really soon, because that's what I normally do. But just for this, I'm using something that is an ancient grain. This is a spelt-based puff pastry. It will set you back a little bit more, but I do recommend spending more money on quality ingredients. And that's how you can kind of get away with having sausage rolls and it not, if anything, it can improve your health and not take away from it. It really comes down to the quality of the ingredients. So getting an alternative ancient grain or making your own fermented pastry would be ideal. Of course, if you can't and you just want to use puff pastry or gluten-free puff pastry, go for that. It's still loaded with those immune boosting, gut healthy nutrients. And look, we can't always be clean. I certainly aren't. So I'm all about trying to help you layer up, and whatever that looks like for you, great, do it. I like this one because it comes as a sheet and I can kind of roll as I go. Now, what I'm going to do is, there's a few different ways of doing this, but I'm just going to get a spoon, put it on one side. And what I recommend with this pastry is you have to wait until it's thawed. I didn't wait long enough, and that's why it cracked a little bit. I had to remedy it because it was still a bit frozen. As long as it's thawed, it'll roll up really nicely. So then I'm going to put a bit of egg just to help seal on this side. And then I'm going to roll. You want to make sure there's not too much air inside. You might be wondering what that flour is. Well, it's actually two ways. You can either roll it across like this, or you can pinch it. Depends what works for you. I'm going to pinch it at the bottom here. Okay, now this flour is actually a sprouted, it's this one. So this is the kind of flour that I'll use. This is a sprouted whole wheat flour. And one of the reasons it's so good, because when things sprout, they are germinated. It means that they have started the process of breaking down the gluten and also releasing the nutrients, which is why activated stuff really is worth the money. So that's the kind of flour that I'll use. And then I'm just going to, and I'll do it for all of this sheet, and I've got a lot here. So essentially what I do is make a ton of these during my holiday period and have it for my son's lunch and also my own throughout the school term. All right, now we'll put them onto the baking tray. They take about half an hour to cook. And what I'm going to put on the top is a bit more egg wash. I won't make you watch me do all of them, but I put a little bit of egg wash on top. Whoa, uh-oh, that's all right. I'll clean that up in a second. And then I'm going to put these black Nigella seeds, mainly because they have a lot of those micronutrients that we talked about, and they just look pretty. Okay, I usually do just different sizes, some snack sizes. So that's what it looks like at the moment, and I'll show you when the tray is full and we'll take them out of the oven. All right, welcome back, guys. Here they are. I've made a lot of them, about 40, so I'm set for lunches for a while. They've come out of the oven. They smell incredible. And there you go, nutrient-packed, good for your gut, immune-boosting sausage rolls. Not bad. And as usual, if you would like more content, please leave me a comment below what you want to see. Like my page, subscribe to my page, and keep on cooking. Bye.